Hey, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy Johnny, and today we have a new Pokemon theory that's going to be explaining and debunking some of my old Pokemon theories. So as you guys may know, in the Pokemon anime, a new episode came out where basically they go into a different dimension or a different world that's not the one from the Pokemon anime, where everything is destructed in Alola, and this is all caused by Guzzlord. So if you played the Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon games, you actually go into this world where everything is destroyed in Alola, which is a different world from the one that you're actually playing in the game. So as you may already know, in the Pokemon universe, in the games, in the anime, there's actually multiple worlds that you can go to in the games. Now, this theory is actually going to be pretty interesting, and I'm not going to say we're going to confirm that it's true or not, but basically, Red is literally in the Pokemon anime, and it could be a possibility, and I will be explaining those further in this video. So the first thing that I want to talk about in this video is basically I did a theory back a while ago, which I did on Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon, stating that Guzzlord was a hero because the whole world had destructed and he was just cleaning up the garbage. Basically, that was the theory I made, and this actually confirms that no, Guzzlord is actually the one responsible for destroying the whole city because he's an evil Pokemon. Also, another theory that was out there popular that people were talking about, that oh, Guzzlord is a Zygarde. This actually denies it, that it actually had anything to do with Zygarde. It doesn't even mention it. Now, with this latest Pokemon episode that came out in the anime, it's really added a bit of an interesting aspect into what happened into that other world that we couldn't explain in the game, because in the games it just basically said that it was another world that Guzzlord had destroyed on his own, and in this world it's in the Pokemon anime, but it's not exactly the same one as the game, so you could even state that this is a different world and it's not the same one from the anime. Now, the first thing that I'm going to mention in this video is basically that Dia and as well as Red have a strong resemblance when you compare them side by side. Like, if you look at their face, the design is literally kind of close to each other, except they have different hairstyles. Now, he does have a resemblance to the Red from Ultra Sun and Moon or Sun and Moon video games, and that's what made me curious about maybe in this world, in the anime, this is actually Red and not Dia. Even though he has a different name, of course, that would say a whole bunch of stuff, but then again, we're in a different universe, which many things could happen. Now, one of the things that I did want to mention in this video is basically, well, Ash actually is an inspiration from Red's design. As you know, the anime, literally Ash and Red are like their counterparts in the anime. From the first generation to the current generation, they always had a similar look. We could always say that. So it might be a possibility that it's just Ash in a different world with a different name as a different person because it's a different universe. But you know, they do call him Dia, so it's kind of weird why they called him Dia. And honestly, he really does look like indeed he may be a different world Ash or a different world Red. The next piece of evidence that we're going to actually be looking at is that when you see the flashback story of Dia, you can actually see a Dia with different clothes that look a lot like Red's clothes from the video games. If you look at it when they're using this flashback footage, you can literally see that the clothes are really a strong resemblance to Red. And he does look more a little bit like Ash as well, which is another thing that may reference it, that this is just another universe with Ash with a different name. But if you look at the clothes, man, the clothes of this character just look literally alike to the ones of Red. It may just be poking fun at the universe of Pokemon, or like a little fun at the inspiration from the original design of Red. And for our final last piece of evidence for this theory is basically on the next episode 101 of Pokemon Sun and Moon. So the only reference that I probably saw that resembled him pretty much to Red in the anime is basically when they show a scene where he actually holds his hat or puts his finger on his hat. And if you guys have played Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon, when you battle Red, he does the same exact thing as Dia is doing in the Pokemon anime. So that may be a reference to maybe that is definitely the same character. Another thing that I also noticed was the eye colors, or as well as the eye design. The eye design does indeed look like a little more of a reference to Red rather than Ash's little goofy eyes that are shown in the anime. So now coming into our conclusion to end the video is that there are different worlds in the Pokemon anime and video games. As you may already know, they mentioned that the parallel world where Ash went to was destroyed by Guzzlord, and the reason why Tapu Koko did not help the humans in that area in Melemele Island is simply because they were doing too much constructions that they ended up polluting the island, and that's the reason why Tapu Koko wasn't helping the world of Dia at all, because of what humans had caused it. So in some way they were responsible for the destruction of the Alola Island. Now, I do want to mention is that, of course, Dia may be his own separate character. He might not even be a resemblance to Ash or Red, because this is a different world, so that he may have had other names. But I do feel that he is definitely a different world character, which is either related to Ash or as Red from the video games. Of course, they're gonna have different names, because that world, the events occur differently, and stuff in that world is just different from the other worlds where Ash is currently in. But we will probably lean toward that maybe this is just Ash in a different world, like a different version of Ash, because it's in a different world. Because if you guys can see his long hair and everything, um, this might be just a different world Ash, because as you guys can know, anything can happen in parallel worlds. It's not going to be the same exact to the original world that we usually see Ash in the anime. So it's quite interesting if you think about it. Anything could be a possibility. There's like millions of worlds out there. I don't know how many they have, but ever since the theory of the ultra wormholes, or when that lore was added into the Pokemon anime, you know that there's literally different worlds in the Pokemon universe. Just like when you play the video game versions X and Y, they're both different universe, and they're not even exactly related to each other, because different events happen. As well as when you capture Kyogre or Groudon in one world, and the other one you can't, but in one world you can. So it is interesting to look at this theory in that way, but I think that's pretty much all I'm going to be talking about in this video. Let me know in the comment section what you think about this video. Do you think that that is Red, but in a different world where they named him that? Or just let me know in the comment section what you think, guys. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.